Hey folks, Lexi here. So, in today's video, I want to flesh out an idea that has been rattling around in my brain for quite some time. And truth be told, it is the entire reason why I decided to start this YouTube channel at all. Um, as of late, a lot of people in this community, in the tarot tube community, have been treating tarot like a monolith. Everything's the same. Everyone reads the same way. Everyone lays their cards out in the same way. And nothing is up for criticism. We've all just unilaterally decided, yes, these are the decks that we love. These are the decks we enjoy. These are the creators we'll continue to support. Um, and I just think that at this stage in my tarot experience, I've kind of had enough of just rainbows and fields of wheat, and no one is up for criticism. Nothing is up for criticism. You cannot critique anyone. And it's just, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. There are ways to be critical of our creators, of decks, without hurting anyone's feelings, without being mean or nasty. There are ways that we can talk about things that we dislike and it still be valid criticism. So, I just wanted to break down criteria of why I bring decks into my collection and kind of let everyone know that if I dislike something, there are reasons why I dislike something. I will also mention some decks here in a little bit that for these criteria, they will not enter my collection. No one should buy these decks for me, and kind of get over this monolithic attitude that we have in this community. And I want to do it in such a way that I'm not hurting anyone's feelings. I'm giving genuine criticism. I'm being critical. I'm making sure people know that it's okay to have opinions. Not everything needs to be beloved in this community, and that's all right. All right, let's break down some criteria. Why am I bringing decks into my collection? What standards does a deck need to meet before I hit purchase, before I take it off the shelf and put it into my basket? What are the criteria for a deck for me to enjoy? Number one, art. If I don't like the art, there's a high probability that I won't bring it into my collection. There are exceptions, of course, and I'll get to that in a minute. And when we're talking about art, there's this notion that a lot of creators will talk about. If you don't like the art, you need to sit with it and you need to understand why you don't like the art. First of all, that's condescending as hell. Second of all, maybe it's not that serious. It really isn't. I can dislike something purely for the fact that I dislike it. It doesn't need to require therapy for me to think, you know what, I really dislike this deck. The art style is not my vibe. It's not my, it just wouldn't be worthwhile for me to buy it. And for people to say, well, you need to ask yourself why you dislike it. No, I don't. It's condescending and it's stupid. And again, like I said, it's not that serious. Now, I can have issues with the art, but still kind of want the deck because of the theme, right? And the perfect example of that, I brought it out actually, is the Red Threads Tarot by Miss Linda Hill. I don't really like this art that much. I don't hate it, but the theme of it made me want it, right? I'm a Greek mythology girly, so of course I'd want the deck, but I still was just like, ooh, one, it's expensive. Two, I don't really jive with the art, but it was purchased for me as a gift. So that I can kind of accept, right? The theme is great, art not so great. A theme could actually hinder my enjoyment of a deck. The perfect example of that is MJ Cullinan's Wise Dog Tarot. I love her art. I love her art style. I think she's fabulous. All of the decks that she's done. The art style is very consistent. You can tell it's a deck that she made, right? But with Wise Dog Tarot, I'm a dog groomer. I've been grooming dogs for about, I don't know, 15 years, maybe. But there's no way that I would have that deck and I could read anything else but work situations, right? And because I am so intimately familiar with dogs, I I know dog archetypes. I know dog stereotypes. So I could potentially disagree with her. I don't have the deck. I've seen it off and on here and there. But if there's a breed that I know and she puts it as the sun or she puts it as the three of wands or whatever, I would have an issue because I know that dog. I know that breed. I know how they act. So I would just have an issue. I could see myself disagreeing with the dogs that she picked for particular cards. And like I said, it would just read for work. And I don't need a work deck, right? I have decks at work, but I just don't need a dog deck. I love dogs. Again, like I said, I will reiterate, I love dogs. She has another one. Again, the art is beautiful. I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's a Fae deck, but I don't work with Fae energy. I don't enjoy Fae energy, so I would not bring that into my collection. The third caveat would be price and availability. There are plenty of out of print decks out there that I would love. The perfect example of that would be the Road to Nowhere Oracle. But I know what I'm willing to pay for a deck. And that deck to me is very special because it was made and created in Yucca Valley, and that's where my partner's from. And we actually we road tripped down to California this May, and it was just a fabulous, wonderful time being in the desert. So price and availability kind of keeps some things out of my collection because I can't get it in because it's just too expensive, right? So again, the caveats are art. If I don't like the art, I probably won't get the deck. The exception would be theme. Theme can kind of counterbalance. Like I love the theme, but in this specific situation, it just wouldn't work out for me. And then that third caveat being price and availability. All right, so now, are you ready? Are you ready? Because I am about to make some enemies. I am about to have pitchforks sharpening, right? I'm going to talk about 5 decks that I will never bring into my collection and why I'll never bring them into my collection. Before we get into the decks, I just wanted to preface it with this statement here. Once your work is in the public, it no longer carries your original intention. It is up for interpretation and criticism. So whatever your original intention was with this piece of art, with this deck, with this book, with this album, it no longer carries that intention. It now belongs to the public. You can criticize something with tact and it not be hurtful, right? I can criticize a deck. I can be critical of something. I'm not attacking the creator. Oh, this creator smells like earring backs and her left foot is funky. I'm not saying that. I'm criticizing art. I'm criticizing a book. I'm criticizing a piece of work that is now in the public. We are allowed to have opinions. Again, I'm not saying anything negative about the person, about the creator. I'm saying something negative or being critical of something that now belongs to the public. And you're allowed to have a negative opinion. You're allowed to have a positive opinion. Whatever the creator's original intention, they can state it, they can tell you what they wanted it to be, but it no longer carries that intention anymore because it belongs to the public now. All right, let's start off strong. First deck I will never bring into my collection is the Lightseers Tarot by Chris Ann. To me, and again, this is my opinion, to me, this is what a suburban white woman thinks diversity is, right? This is Trader Joe's moving into a historically urban neighborhood to gentrify the shit out of it. I look at that deck and it makes me feel uncomfy. I look at it and I'm just like, no, absolutely not. Why is this deck so popular? And then a lot of people will say, well, the uh, auxiliary guidebook is so good. Well, what am I doing over here? I thought I was doing cartomancy. I'm not doing bibliomancy. I don't need a deck purely based off how good the guidebook is, right? And like I said, I look at it and I see people who love it and want to interact with it and really want to shove it down people's throats. Like, you have to like this deck. You must like this deck. Just what? I don't understand. Uh, but yeah, the art, I don't dislike the art. I dislike the feeling I get when I see it because I am not Caucasian. I might look Caucasian, but I am not. But when something that just comes out that just feels like, a 55-year-old white woman wanted to create this and put this in the world, it just makes me feel like, why did we open this Trader Joe's up? Why is this Whole Foods here now when we used to have a bodega, right? It just seems like gentrification. I look at that deck and I see gentrification. Second deck is The Wild Unknown by Kim Krantz. And I know a lot of people are very sentimental about it because it's their very first deck. I just find her artwork kind of bland and uninspiring to me. Again, these are all of my opinions. If you don't like them, I do apologize, but I just kind of wanted to talk about why everyone has to love the same decks. It really does feel like everyone wants you to like the Lightseers. Everyone wants you to like the Wild Unknown. And if you don't, you're an outlier, right? The majority of Broccoli Magazine Broccoli Mag decks. I do have one here. The Cat Oracle is fabulous. I really, really do love this little Oracle deck here. There is a shop in the Alberta neighborhood, Psychic Sisters, and for those who don't know, Broccoli Mag is local to Portland. Anyway, Psychic Sisters, they had a crap ton of their oracles out on display, so you can touch them, you can feel them, you can look through them. I have no interest or desire because I'm not a crystal girly. I'm not like, there's another one, I think it's like flowers, and then there's like a celestial one. I just don't like them, and people have this, oh, gotta catch them all, gotta catch them all. What? No, you don't need all of them. Maybe one or two or three. Yeah. And if, I'm not going to pocket watch. If you want all of them and you work with all of them, that's great. I love that for you. But for me and my family, I just need this bad boy, right? This one is going to be a little bit, well, they're all controversial and I'm kind of being a little bit of a bitch, but I said, you can criticize things. Don't be afraid or intimidated for having an opinion. You can have an opinion, right? The Grim Tales Tarot by Fiona Wood, or who knows if Fiona Wood actually created it, right? The deck is so clearly AI, but people are getting it and they're losing their shit over it. They just love it. That particular deck has been done 300 times, right? I have here, what is it? Madame Lydia Wilhelmina's Tarot of Monsters, the Macabre, and Autumn Scenes. So, let's see here, because I know that happy squirrel is somewhere. Maybe I mixed that happy squirrel in. I think I did. Anyway, you can't tell me this doesn't look exactly like that deck, but this is done better. And you want to know why? Because a human created it. And everyone's all in a tizzy about AI, right? Until it's a themed deck that you like. What is it? They had that biblical tarot. Since Christianity is popular again and everyone wants to get back into the Bible and everything, the biblical tarot, AI, although I will say this, I respect deck creators who let you know, hey, I did utilize AI, right? I did use some AI in this. I respect the hell out of them because there are certain creators who will pat their iPad and like, no, all my work is right here in this iPad and show you no actual evidence that they created these things. But they will continue to say, no, no, I didn't use AI. Not at all. Not even a little bit. You're lying. If it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, mama, it's AI, okay? So like, do we like AI? Do we not like AI? Now, I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I do own AI decks, but I own AI decks where it was clearly stated, hey, yes, I used AI. So this Grim Tales Tarot, get out of town. It's been done before and it's been done better by humans, right? All right. This one, I swear, this is a ranty video and I'm gonna get a lot of heat, and I'm prepared for it. Um, any deck that uses Jasmine Beckett Griffith's artwork, I have no interest in, not at all. Um, and it's like, well, well, maybe you should talk to your inner child and see why she dislikes it. No, I just don't like the art. I don't think that they're creepy. I just don't like big headed, you know, dolls, big headed, big eyed dolls. And if you can see back there, that's a doll leg. I have another doll leg. I like dismembered dolls, and I don't find it creepy or any. So it's not that I dislike dolls. I think dolls are really cool. I think they're fun. I just don't like those big-headed, big-eyed dolls. And and any deck. And then let's not get. I swear to God, every year there's at least 6 or 7 Alice in Wonderland decks, and I'm like, y'all, can we stop? Can we stop with the Alice in Wonderland decks? Can we do maybe some more Wizard of Oz? That would be fun. That would be cool. Uh, but yeah, it's just I know my inner child. I've been in and out, off and on in therapy since I was 8 years old. So I'm very, very self aware. I know what I like and what I dislike. And I know that it's okay that I dislike something. And I know that I don't need to consult my inner child. I don't need to consult my shadow. I don't need to do any of that because I am allowed, just like you are allowed, to have opinions. You can watch this video and think, God, what a complete bitch. I would agree with you. But I just wanted to talk to you guys today about, we're not a monolith. My practice is my practice. Your practice is your practice. Bring in whatever you want to bring in, but be a little bit more critical about why you're bringing it in, right? Are you bringing in the Grim Tales Tarot because everybody else is buying it? Do you really like that deck? Will it add anything to your practice? Or do you have this deck here? Do you have it? You don't need it. You don't need, truth be told, I don't need any of this. I don't need any of these decks. I would be happy with one, right? But I love and enjoy having these decks. I love having variety. I love having things that add something to my practice, whether it be a great theme, whether it be fabulous art that mixes and matches well with other decks, right? So I think we need to be more critical of ourselves as consumers. I think we need to get over this notion that we all need to like the same decks. We all need to place our cards in the same way. We all need to so on and so forth, right? Because tarot is not a monolith. My practice is my practice. Your practice is your practice. You can hate every single deck that I own and we can still be friends, right? Anyway, this is a very, very controversial video, and I did get a little heated because I'm very passionate and I'm very opinionated, right? I just want to have a good time in the Tarot Tube community, and I just want people to know and acknowledge that we do not have to like the same things, and we can be critical of creators and art and not be mean. Was I a little mean here? Probably. But again, like I said, I'm very opinionated and I have very strong opinions. So that's it for today's video. Please leave me a comment. Please, hell, if you want to tell me how wrong and mean I am, I would appreciate that too, because I have been waiting a long time to make this video because I know it's going to be unpopular. I know people are going to rub some people the wrong way. I just know that. But I can't not be who I am. I can't not be critical of something when I noticed certain things about a deck, right? Anyway, I hope you have a fabulous, fantastic day, and I should be back soon with more content. Bye, guys.